Boy, these days it seems like having a cell phone is definitely a necessity, but it doesn't have to cost you a bundle. There are websites out there offering tools to help you figure out if you are paying too much for your cell phone service. Joining us this morning, our good friend Andrea Smith, technology producer at ABC News Radio. Andrea, thank you so much for coming in and talking with us again about some good tips to save people money. Everybody's trying to do that these days, and one of the first places you can look are bills like this, recurring bills that come every month that you might be able to save some money on.
Exactly, and people don't think about it because they're so used to just paying these bills that they don't realize, hey, you know, some of these prices are coming down and maybe they need to really reevaluate their cell phone bill.
It's kind of like the credit card companies. If you ask, you may be able to do something, right? And now there are these sites that you're talking about that actually help you. They have tools there. You plug in your numbers and it tells you if you're paying too much.
Right. There's a great site. I've tried it myself. It's called billshrink.com. It's unbiased. They're not trying to sell you anything.
This is what it looks like.
That's exactly what it looks like. I took my son's cell phone bill.
That's another story.
We'll talk about that later. And it basically walks you through. You put in how many minutes you actually use, not how many minutes you have on your plan.
Right.
How many texts you use, the zip code of where you are, and other information that it asks for. And it comes up, it will either tell you, hey, you're on a great plan, stick with it, or there are 9 plans that could be better for you.
And this is a free service.
It's a completely free, unbiased service. And it will link you to either AT&T or Verizon or any plan, any company that you have that you can look at and say, hey, maybe this is a better deal for me.
Yep.
Wirefly.com does the same thing. They actually sell phones that go with these plans. And sometimes even Wirefly will sell you a phone for less money than they are on the open market if you buy a plan through them.
None of these places are hooked up to these phone companies or anything like that? This is all independent?
Not at all.
Okay. Well, what about some other tips? For instance, I was looking at my plan. You know, sometimes you just get a plan and you forget about it, but your usage changes. I called up and said, hey, is this the best plan for me? And the guy at my phone company said, no, this would be better and you'd save money. And I did.
Right, because you know what's happening is we're signing up, we're really worried about going over our usage. So we're signing up for maybe 450 minutes, and then they give you 200 bonus minutes, and you've got your unlimited nights and weekends. And then you look at your bill and you realize you're only using like 200, 250 minutes. You're paying way too much. You're not using most of what you have. For instance, on my son's bill, I look, he has 450. Kids don't call, they text.
It's all texting,
He's got 200 calls and 7,000 texts.
Oh,
2 of them are from me.
7,000
texts. Sorry, Matthew.
Wow.
So,
I hope he has unlimited, or you're going to have to...
Unlimited. This is a kid who needs unlimited.
Pay that over months.
I don't have unlimited because I don't need it. So I'm only on a 200 text per month
You
plan.
really know yourself.
Those
and
are
how
the
you
kinds
do
of
business.
things you have to think about. Also for kids, consider a prepaid plan. Maybe they need, a kid needs to figure out first, how many minutes does this count? Give them a prepaid plan, say, here are your minutes, here are your texts. Learn how to budget. If you go over, you're done. It turns off.
Well, and you can ask the company to change your plan.
This is a common misconception. There's no charge for changing your plan.
They just change it.
You don't need a new 2-year contract to change your plan within that carrier. You can just make changes.
You have some other tips that we have that we can put up on the screen. If we can get that full screen up, we can talk about it. You were talking about tips for kids. These are for everybody. You can analyze your bill.
Prepaid plans, absolutely a way to go, not just for kids but for grown-ups. Be willing to change carriers. A new thing now is carriers are not locking you into that 2-year deal. They're prorating that termination fee. So if you're a 1.5 years into your contract and you want to change, they're not going to charge you that whole 2-year fee. And the other thing is really just be prepared to change.
Yeah.
Call around, ask what the best deal is for you.
Andrea, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
7,000 texts in 1 month?
Yeah.
We've put a link to all of these websites we've mentioned on our website, which is 7online.com. Click on the See It on TV link in the upper right-hand side of your page, and we'll get you to weekend morning interviews and tips. That is just mind-boggling. 7,000 texts in a month. Kids. But first, here's Diana Williams with a look at what's coming up on Up Close this morning.